Good morning everybody, my name is Marko Hainen, I'm the founder of the Help the Oceans. Welcome to the live. So let's have a look what we have it for today. As this we've been on the live in a really long time for last time. So anyone of you out there who has any idea? Let me see what happened in here. Okay, I got myself a notification that I am alive. Yes. And as we all know, the world is changing. There is not so much things what we can do about it, because current situation for the world ocean pollution is not easy. It's not easy at all, and yes, I'm doing the same time in here on I need to set up in so many things always, which is I would consider really fun. And let's go over there. And I have to say that, by the way, in what I haven't said, thank you very much. I have a 35 subscribers on the channel, and I have basically very large amount of people have viewed in the Help the Oceans videos in the past, 111 so far. And I would like you to be a part of the Help the Oceans, and please try to share Help the Oceans, because one person can't do so much about the oceans. So would be really good idea. Yeah, I tried to have a look on that one, but it did not work in that way. So let's keep it mobile phones away from today. I do hope that there would be somebody views and who has something to say or something to ask, as this was unannounced. This is really not advanced planned live broadcasting, but we are planning to get live broadcasting schedules where we can actually talk about it, and where we can actually little bit on categorize what is gonna be the main topic on our ultimate goal. Ultimate goal is publish and also stopping the ocean plastic pollution. It's gonna be environmental catastrophe eventually. Yes, it is actually affecting at the moment already all around the world in our 7 continents. One way or the other, it's affecting, as it starts from the rivers. It is basically affecting inland, rivers, lakes, and then it's eventually ended up in the ocean. So my simple questions: how is plastic pollution affecting the oceans? How? Oceans are really big. They are actually occupying 70% of the Earth. 70%. Can you imagine? We humans, we are actually occupying, we have a land less than 30% of our Earth. Human population is growing, getting really, really large. Different areas more, the other areas less. But in a globalizing situation, the human population is, we are getting actually really, really close to 8 billion people around the world. Is that going to affect in oceans? Plastics in the oceans? And the simple answer for that one is yes, it does. We humans, you, me, everybody, we are daily consumers for the plastic. Unfortunately, again. So how is the plastic pollution affecting the oceans? Simple thing. Too much plastic is ending up in oceans and making its way onto yours, my dinner plates. Do you like to really eat the plastic? Do you? Probably not. I mean, let me see. I like to do it in it. This one is a plastic. This is my business cards holder. It actually didn't taste so good. And it's very hard to eat. Can you imagine the fish, whales, penguins, seabirds? They actually have to consume the plastic what we humans actually disposing. Garbage bins. Where it goes after your garbage bins, you have no idea. I have no idea. But without effect, without basically sharing the information, without making a public post regarding disaster what we humans are creating, it's eventually actually killing millions of fish, hundreds of whales, and hundreds of thousands of seabirds every single year. Let's go to the funny part, which is many people consider drastic parts. We go statistics. And we have to go a little bit in backwards on the time, because as you know that those people who are actually collecting the evidence and making statistics, they have to come from backside. They collecting, it takes time to make a statistic. So let's do the plastic pollution. We all know it is the problem. It is a big problem. You like it or not. We humans, we actually produce almost, and eventually at the moment, if we start to calculating backwards, we produce more than 450 million tons of plastic. Can you imagine 450 million tons of plastic 2015? That's a huge number. What do you think it's gonna be 2050? Just a little bit more? Maybe a little bit more than the more is or was? Well, how should I put it this one in a nice, little bit not too dramatic way, but I can't. We are actually expecting the plastic pollution to be at least double from 2015 by 2050, 2050. But eventually it can be 2.5, 3 times more than 450 million. So multiply 450 million multiply by 2.5. That's a lot. That's a really, really lot. Wow. It is going to be a really, really bad situation by 2050. Those of us who's going to be over there. And can you imagine those newborn population, newborn babies who are born in like today, or born yesterday, or born last year, by 2050, which is, what is it? 28 years more. They are going to be really bad situation. They're gonna be actually on a really, really dramatic place, because the plastic, what we and our population, our generation, what we actually produce, ended up on their dinner table one way or the other. So why we don't have a, let's say, more than currently, why don't we have a more plastic recycle plantations? Why? Some people, of course, they've been investing on that one, and especially in Europe and USA and those other countries, what they claim that they have a plastic recycle plantations where they actually can recycle it. For the example, for the 2015, what do you think? How much actually we or those factories recycled on the plastic? Think again, because I think you have a really, really big numbers on the head. Because for me, example, simple thing, I have a statistic in front of me, and it was less than 10% from 450 million tons of plastics. That is a little. That is really, really little. And from that 450 million, can you imagine the 8 tons? 8 tons ended up in our oceans. Eight tons. And I'm just trying to think about it in the same time in over there in those ones who actually do the illegal business called whaling, and those of us who like to watching on the whales swimming, and who's been actually diving same time with the whales. When you see the whale, which is 8 tons heavy, we consider that one as a really, really big, huge whale. Why the human population consider 8 tons of plastic on oceans? It's not so much actually. It's not affecting anything. And it does. Put the 8 tons on a whale size and you can see how much is that gonna be. It is the huge amount. Something in the what basically it's not good for you, it's not good for me, it's not good for the whales, it's not good for the fish, shrimps, whatever you like to eat it from the oceans, it's not good for them, because if they eat it, it's ended up on your stomach. And eventually it's not going more further than your stomach and then your system, because no matter you go into the toilet and you try to get rid of it, it does not go that way. So how does the plastic get into the oceans? I actually mentioned it a little bit in on that one, on really fast in the beginning. How does it end? As we all know, we all have a way of accommodating ourselves. Houses, apartments, townhouses, you name it, houses, tents. But as a lifetime seaman, sailor, I spent 34 years at sea. You know that we all humans, we do need to eat. Often. Sometimes not every day, some people can do that, some people can't, but we do need to eat it generally every day. How do we get the food from the farmers to the shops, from shops to your homes, and from your home to your stomach? They are actually covered, or they are packed eventually. Plastic bags, you carry on the plastic bags. And talking about the plastic bags, we all were publicly advertised that shopping, let's say grocery stores, basically they stop using on the plastic bags all around the world. And yes, it did help short period of time. And yes, it came back. It was just about a month or so. And then on those grocery stores, they did not give a damn about that one, as they selling the items, and in the grocery stores, they don't like to have unhappy people over there. Because as far as I heard, and I've been on the large grocery stores, people in the queue-up line, they are complaining that they can't get the plastic bags anymore. And yes, this is happening in Thailand, as I live in here. And yes, it did happen all around. No matter, it did happen. Not so many people have their own bags when you're going to do the grocery shopping. Actually, in my family we do have. We have a very small bags which we can carry on the pocket, and then that will be eventually come up with the really good bag, and we can get our groceries from shop to the home. So factories are one of those heavy parts, because they cannot basically transfer their items individually to the reselling markets. They are packing those ones in some. There might be plastic containers and plastic bags, plastic bottles and that kind of things. Yes, that is something what the world is actually currently, as far as I know, they're working on that one. And I can tell you that, as I'm coming from Finland, in Finland there is one factory who actually making on food containers which are recycled materials. And unfortunately they don't sponsor my production, my filming, so I will not mention the company by the name. So if there is any companies who want to actually sponsor in my production over there and get your what are you doing to helping the oceans, not providing plastic as you are providing recycled product what can either carry, contain for the recycled item, and your item is not destroying the oceans, let me know and we will get you alive. We will get you as a Help the Oceans in the main sponsors. So let's go back to the topic on this one. So how is the plastic actually ended up in the oceans? Illegal dumping is the one of the biggest issue all around the world. I do have to say that in some part of the world it is controlled a little bit better than other part of the world. And other part of the world I can actually in my own experience and own witnessing in my own eyes, it is happening on basically all around in Asia. Far East, Asia, Middle East. Unfortunately it does. Usually dumping happening on the rivers, as river is flowing to the somewhere and the plastic floats to the somewhere. It's ended up in the lakes usually. From the lakes it does ending up eventually to your table as you are fishing, or it might, if the lake is connected to the continuous for the rivers, it's ended up in oceans. And for the bigger environment. The other one against how the basically plastic ended up in the oceans is the really poor waste management. This one actually is something in what so-called, as they call it in the United Nations, they considered certain countries as developed countries. Where did they get that name? I have no idea, because there is illegal dumping and illegal business and all kind of illegal stuff. So are they still developing countries or not? But that's what the United Nations has been categorized, those ones. Why does the developing countries, they do not do more than they currently do, which is really 0.000001 on their own yearly budget for waste management? They are actually helping those so-called undeveloped countries. They actually generally, as you saw it, as you heard it, there was so many zeros before the number 1, after 0.000000001. They basically do generally nothing. They say they do, but as soon as they get out of the publicity or media eyes, they basically take off the gloves and go back to the sitting on behind the office desk and do nothing, which is very normal for those ones, because at the moment, as we all know, in those who do some kind of, I don't consider it as a scamming business, but it's a misinformation, what they do, when they do it, and how they do it. That is misinformed. As soon as they're out of the public eyes, they are outside of the news, media, they stop working. as they're feeling much more happier when the media is out of their sight, that they can basically take off the gloves and do some hand washing and then go sitting on behind the office desk and basically start laughing over them. Industrial bureaucrats they basically improperly conduct the management production process. Unfortunately, again, those ones are. So, I don't want to hold you in a little bit longer than it's impossible to you to focusing on ocean plastic disaster. So what do you think about it in eventually, or should I say additionally, impacting on ocean plastic pollutions, death of marine life? What kind of marine life? Fish, whales, shrimps, mammals, seabirds. And then there is this really nasty way to say it. All the plastic what they eat basically might conduct. They are basically suffocate to death. As we all know that that's not really nice way to basically go to the heaven, suffocate. It is painstaking to even watch. It will then also eventually impact to the food chain. Yes, and then of course microplastic from the food chain. It is not nice. It's not really good for anybody. So, my final part for today's live production, and before that one, thank you for watching, and please, if you like to hear it more, or if you are interested to save the oceans, please subscribe. It is somewhere here, somewhere there. Share it to anybody, share it to your friends, share it to your society, your network. So basically, please try to reduce the use of single-use plastics. Like a packing, where is your bread? What plastic bags you get it from the shopping complex? That is actually. If you belong to one of those ones who go into the beaches, when you see the plastic bottles in the beaches, you see the plastic bags over there. As outside in here, in my environment, we see the flying plastic bags all the time. And yes, we are actually collect them. We have a large amount of garbage bins over there, which are eventually become partially filled up flying plastic bags. As those plastic bags are put somewhere and then they fly away from the original organizations and they ended up in here. Every day we see it in here. So on your part, you can do the small part, as we all can do. Clean, take away those plastic bags on oceans, beaches, rivers, lakes. Do your part, as that one will make a big impact. Spread the word. Help the oceans, share the link. it will take a big part for our organizations. And then, of course, support the organizations who are basically talking or addressing the plastic pollutions. And we here in Help the Oceans, we are focusing oceans. There is some of you who are basically do a large amount of big work for the beaches, rivers, lakes. Thank you for that one. You do it the big part, because from there eventually the plastic which is not collected ended up in oceans. Having said that one, final talk on that one. The biggest polluters, plastic polluters for the oceans are marine organizations, ships. I know it. I've been working at sea on the ships 34 years. I know it when it's been done, where it will be done, what time of the night it will be done, what is the bridge officers must do before we are dumping the garbage, plastic, oil barrels, what they do it before we dump it. That is the big organizations. They do it every day. It doesn't matter what they say. They do it. So, having said that one, it's been really fantastic day to be in for you. Please leave the note, subscribe to the channel, click the bell button so you're gonna get the notification every time we're gonna be on the live. And if there is anybody, those of you who do want to sponsor us, you find the links to sponsoring the Help the Oceans. Get the production better, more functional, more time, and of course eventually all the money for the donations will be ended up in our bigger organizations. Until then, have a nice Sunday, and I hope to see you soon. Don't know yet when, but subscribe, click the bell button, you will get the notification. Have a nice Sunday. Bye bye.